Yeah, the purpose of this is obviously just to a bit of a platform to talk about experiences and what's happened. Obviously, you guys have been involved in alternative education and you've taken different paths, and it's just about catching up, having a chat, and mainly I want to be able to give a voice to different young people and just to provide a platform for people to be able to share experiences, and hopefully other young people can look at it and it will motivate them, and at the same time some other professionals can use it as feedback to help improve services. Yeah, so just start with a little introduction. Your name is a little bit about yourself. So we'll start with you, Lewis.
I'm Lewis. I'm 25. I work in retail. I'm a manager. Yeah, I'm a big football fan.
No, decent. What about yourself?
I'm Macaulay. I'm a bit of a different route to Lewis. We went to the same school and same education and same college, etc. I went down a different path to Lewis. I went into social media channels. I look after a lot of different pages on social media. Some are related to sports, some are related to memes, some are related to just agencies in general.
Okay, cool. So just like, so looking at, obviously you guys, you went to school together, yeah?
Yeah.
So went to school together, but then you both went to college, or what? How did that pan out? So what, did you go to college, Lewis?
So since leaving school, I was about to go do electrics at City Brighton College.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to do when I left school. And then I've just found it very hard to decide. It's a big decision for what you want to do in your future.
You feel that there wasn't like enough support there to help you understand?
Yeah, fully. I feel like there was no one to try and help me guide my way into making a decision.
Fair enough.
Even though ultimately it is my decision. But yeah, lack of support for me in that.
What about yourself?
Very similar to Lewis. I was going to go to the same college as well, but I didn't get an English
qualification.
Yeah, English qualification to get in. So I didn't really want to do another 3-4 years or whatever I had to do that, because I'd wasted 10 years on school. So I thought, I don't want to waste my time.
So then do you find that, okay, so that's happened, you might not have necessarily had the qualifications, and then you're like, okay, at limbo, like what do we do type thing? And then is that when you got into alternative provision type stuff, what you told me about off camera?
Yeah, basically. So we went down that route of, that's where we found Dan. And we went to the Amex.
Stuff like that.
Done some group activities. Played a lot of football and a lot of sport, kept us healthy. We went to Wales, didn't we, on the NCS course.
NCS and stuff. So yeah, so looking back at all of that kind of stuff, so obviously, so you started doing the alternative provision stuff. That obviously, I don't know, brushed on different subjects, you know, to try to help you get job ready, working with like other young people, like-minded other young people. And then from that, as other opportunities come up, like I think it was like that NCS, and what you guys went on, the National Citizen Service or scheme, which was it like a project where you get taken away and there's a social action project, and you go and do some stuff in Wales, and then you do some stuff at the university, you're doing gorge scrambling, like similar to kind of orienteering, water sports, all that kind of stuff. And I think essentially that's like taking young people from the city out to the sticks almost.
Yeah.
Have them doing some activities.
Basically throwing everyone into the deep end, but in a good way.
How did you find that development?
I thought overall it was a really good experience. It was a lot different to what I was used to. There were some things, we went in November and it was absolutely freezing. And I think one of the things we done was have to jump off the rocks into the water.
The shocker.
Absolute shock. It was freezing.
I remember I refused to do that. I said, that enough, I'm not going in there.
The shocker. That's what they called it, isn't it?
I refused to get in that.
So like with all of that, so with like different young people and stuff, how did you find like the people you met? There was a group you knew, or were you with different young people?
It was very 50-50. I think half the group that we went with were on our course that we were doing, and then the other half we weren't too aware of who they were and what they were doing. But I think overall the group dynamic was very good.
Cool. What about yourself?
Very. Same with Lewis, really.
Same.
Yeah, I knew mostly the people we went with, and then the new ones we didn't know too well.
Did you feel that like being put in that, situation, you're not out of your comfort zone, that kind of helped you develop. Like, because obviously when we're looking at, say, you're part of this course, where if I remember rightly, you're doing some employability and some fitness-based stuff and like practicing, so you're there doing all of that, then you're kind of out, you're put in the deep end, learning new skills, and then kind of what happened like after that?
I think it was a very good boost for my confidence. I think after that, you know, I was able to learn a lot of new skills that I didn't think would be available to myself. I ended up getting a job in the Albion in the community area, working with more young people.
What was that like? What was that doing?
It was, going out to different places, playing football with them.
Coaching and stuff.
Yeah, coaching. It was really good. I liked it.
Nice.
So with me, it was a bit of a different route to Lewis as well. Obviously, it built my confidence up a lot. It made me better at speaking to people, and obviously I went into the social media aspect of it. I didn't do anything outside with people, but it made me better at speaking to people online. So I did like Zoom calls and Skype calls, etc. So it boosted my confidence and stuff like that.
So like now it's decent. Obviously, you guys are still friends, which is good.
Yeah.
What about
Surprised.
you? Still stay in contact? Did you still stay in contact with any of like the others? Or do you remember any of the others who were part of that journey?
I definitely do. I've got two from that course that I speak to. One,
I remember a few
pretty
of
much
them,
every day.
And I think everybody was from what I remember, from different walks of life. So you had
100%.
some of those young people. I think what we tried to do, you had young people who had special educational needs and might necessarily have probably been in schools, but there was more support provided. And then you had, I wouldn't call them roadmen, but a couple man them involved who thought they were active, whatever you want to call that. And then you had like young people like yourself who were just in limbo a bit, who were trying to find something.
A brick wall sort of thing.
Yeah. Just to try something positive to do to help them move forward. I feel that bringing everybody together and everybody being treated the same, rather than where everybody, like say for example, you're in a Prue, you always feel like a naughty kid. If you're in a special school, people are looking at you like, oh, you're special. I mean, bringing everybody together, that helped everyone support each other. And I felt like there was a good sense of community and vibe there, because everybody bantered with each other. Like, you'd give it to Tony Town as much as you'd give it to Ethan, for example. No, because no one was targeting anybody. Everybody was having a laugh
Dished
together.
out, you took it back sort of
Yeah.
I think for sure it gave a good dynamic of a group. I feel like we had a good group.
And I also feel that in schools and in colleges, like what was good is that some people might have had less ability than others, but nobody felt embarrassed to, for example, like read or to ask for help.
Yeah.
Because everyone around
helped each other. I agree with that.
You know, and I think that was good, because it was just kind of like, look, give me a hand. Like, Mike, can you give me a hand with this? And he'll come over and help. Or Dan, can you help me with this? Or Macaulay, give me a hand with this. And everybody just basically supported each other.
Yeah.
Moving forward and stuff. So now, like, I wonder, like, obviously you were involved in some form of alternative provision. And although it wasn't a big thing then, it was just something you stumbled across. Something I experienced in my role, like working with young people who are kind of educated, etc., is a lot of them being put on like part-time timetables, like 2 hours a day or 1 hour a day, like one lesson. And I mean, what's the point? I get it, they're doing the maths and English, but from my experience, a lot of young people come at risk when they're doing nothing. Yeah, so if you've got a young person who's going in for 2 hours a day, what's he doing the rest of that time? He's on road, he's active, he's just about, yeah? And then you've got guys who just prey on them, like, yeah, look, what are you saying, young G? Come and roll with me for a bit, like, hold this. Like, no, you with me? And then next minute, he's exploited because he's getting his little 30 quid or whatever it is to help, yeah?
Do something a bit more dangerous than the 30 quid's worth.
Yeah, but I'm interested in having some advice from young people who were involved in the system before, and just to ask them if there's any ideas what they think could change to help some of these youths moving forward.
I think for sure more opportunity to kind of explore and, you know, have a taste of what they can do in the future.
We referring to like more information about colleges or work experience?
Yeah, all of it. Because I feel like it was very, very bad when we were in school. I don't think there was much opportunity kind of or guidance at all. And I think at that age, it's a big decision because you could potentially be doing something that you're going to do for the rest of your life.
Yeah. I mean, I agree and I don't agree. I mean, you're 16, you could do something for 2 years, think, yeah, it's no good, not for me. And then train at doing something else, but you're still going to have a skill. Like I trained as a plumber for a bit, done that for a few years, thought, nah, not for me, banging my hand in cold and stuff. Thought about it, weren't for me, yeah. So then I find myself working with young people in loads of different roles, but essentially it's about kind of helping and trying to work with them on a level so that they understand me and that I understand them to make that positive change. A lot of young people are like, that guy can't relate to him. Like, he's got a pair of cords on and a shirt. Like, what does he know about the streets? Like, in some cases, whereas I try to adapt so that they feel comfortable to open up. So it's just more about looking at what is the best opportunities, or ideas to help some of these young people.
I feel like there needs to be more people like yourself out there that are gonna like guide these people through life a bit more, because I feel like a lot of it is to do with the group of people that are hanging around with and the trends, like Top Boy and that. If people are seeing that these little kids are going out to go in country and stuff and earning 200 quid, they don't want to sit in a class and learn off someone about maths and English, do they? They want to go out and make their money. I feel like stuff like that needs to be age-gated correctly. I feel like that's a big issue in society.
I get that, but then, I mean, that might be because that's the only opportunity they're given, because I had a young person I've worked with before who was apparently moving G-Packs or whatever, yeah, and earning
top dog.
Like, I don't know, probably that kind of money a day, they were saying, but then provided an opportunity where they could actually was working with a professional who I knew, doing some building and some carpentry and bits like that. And I think it was only like 60 quid a day or something. But then they stopped doing all of that. So, I think that was quite important. So, as I said, I had a young person who was fully involved, potentially going OT, was clearly being exploited. And it was a little bit like, okay, how am I going to provide something which is going to might even match or compete with you earning £200 a day?
Yeah,
like,
such a young age.
No,
yeah.
It's almost impossible.
Yeah.
But I was surprised that them doing a little bit of work with professionals, learning some carpentry and some skills, a few days a week, they're probably only earning about 180 quid working 3 days a week as part of like a package. What was put into force for their parents, like kind of pushed for it. But then that's it, overnight, bosh, stopped, weren't involved in all of that. So my point is, if there's potentially earning that every day, for example, they're earning a lot less the whole week, but we're able to kind of focus and to do something positive. And that was an eye-opener for me, because I thought that, well, if he's earning this much money, it's impossible. But then I think that's the only opportunity he had. So he just grabbed it, regardless of what money and what risk was involved. So I'm kind of like an advocate for more organisations maybe getting involved. Yeah, you can't have a young person working 4 days a week. They can just about get out for school. Yeah, maybe one day a week, 2 days a week. They got a bit of money for like KFC or Nando's or something, maybe a tracksuit. Like, that's all they want, right?
Cheaper.
No, just a little bit. Maybe for, I don't know, vapes, whatever they're getting up to, yeah? What I don't condone, but young people be young people. But I just think we need to look at different ways. Everything's evolved. Like, look, you had an iPhone 6, now you got iPhone 15, 16, yeah, whatever it is. Education, I mean, those days of being hit with a cane or teachers telling you off, now a young person's like, what are you swearing at?
Yeah, they just
Piss
laugh
off.
at them now, don't they? They just literally laugh at them. Like, they're not no discipline, are they, in the kids these days? You see it with the younger generation coming through. If you're going into a shop and they're all standing outside, as you said, with the vapes. Yes, bruv, can you get me a vape? Absolutely not.
Yeah, not even, excuse me, can you get me a vape, please?
Yeah,
like,
there's no manners. Yeah, I agree.
Like, you get on the bus before, old lady, everyone moves out of the way, go on, let's the old lady on, yeah?
Yeah.
Gets up. Now the kids are like barging her out of the way.
Yeah.
And sitting down. So I think there's just been a shift with like manners, like respect your elders.
There's none of that these days anymore. None of it. They'll get on a bus, they're sitting at the back blaring their music out.
I had someone say, "Shut the F up." I mean, who are you talking to? He's like, not me, your mum. Not you, mum. I went, hey, what do you mean you're talking to your mum? Don't talk to your mum like that.
And this is how the kids are behaving these days, isn't it? It's all like agreed with now.
Yeah, I don't want to sound...
new trend.
Yeah, I don't want to sound like a granddad, but I think manners don't cost a thing.
It'll get you further in life.
And even, you can do the road thing if you want to do the road thing. But you need to be able to communicate.
Yeah.
Like, because if you're going to go and get a job, you can't be rolling in like, yo, what are you saying, fam? Like, man's trying to 2-2s get a job. Nah, it's not. That's
not going to get you very far, is it?
It's not. So at least know how to adapt.
Yeah. And some of these people don't, do they? Because it's the whole group of people they've been with, and that's how they communicate to each other. They think it's normal to go
you can communicate. I do know a young person who was the most road person ever. As soon as the phone went off, they're like, hello, yep, how can I help you? I looked at him, I was like, are you all right? Like, have you just switched that up? Like,
talking about knocking people out and all this.
Have you just switched that up? You were just talking some grease road business. Next minute, you're like, okay, mum, yeah, okay, I'll be home 7 for dinner. Love you, bye. I was like, you should go into acting.
Yeah,
like, you should go into acting.
Career's already sorted.
Yeah, you're laughing. So obviously all of that's gone on. We look at what's different. But what about kind of locally? Like, I mean, obviously in Brighton, Brighton's a lot of drugs and stuff in Brighton. You had any friends or people exposed to like any of that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I think we both share a friend.
Yeah.
Who kind of went down that road.
Okay.
He's not on the road anymore. He got off the road, thankfully.
Saw the light, yeah? He saw the light at the end of the tunnel. And
thank God.
It's even like his drug dealer, though, was telling him, just running him up into debt. He was like encouraging his habit. He would text him and say, like, I'm not interested in any of that anymore. I'm trying to quit. And he'd be like, I'll do you a better deal. So he'd say, oh, yeah, you can pay me next week. And he was just running up debt that he couldn't afford to clear.
Yeah, so that's not good, is it? That's just, and that's basically preying on his vulnerability, isn't it? He's
obviously
there. He's there, like,
trying to stop himself,
needing that, trying to better himself, and that person's like dangling that carrot. It's like putting a fact in the candy store, isn't it?
Yeah,
essentially.
Yeah.
Then we found every night out that we went on, even across like the England games, every single England game of a Euros or World Cup. It was just
same cycle, wasn't it?
Yeah, same cycle.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Bang.
Yeah.
Because I think you just get. Because I suppose some people, it's like my thing is the gym, and it's if I don't go, then it's like it's feeling a bit down and a bit pissed off and a bit grumpy. But some people might associate like drinking with doing that. Do you have a shant? And then like bosh, pack it or whatever it is they do. And then every time they do that, it's
a big cycle.
It just messes with your brain, innit? Like
borrowing money off people and lying about what he needed the money for.
Oh, you pay my phone bill, mate.
Yeah, all sorts of stories. You'd go on your Snapchat or something, even if he wasn't out with our group of friends, he'd be out with someone else's group of friends, pissed up.
And that's someone who obviously like came through this kind of journey with you guys as well.
Yeah.
I feel like wrong group of people he was with. I know we sort of were friends with him, but he sort of went down another route as well. So I feel like he surrounded himself with people that done it, and he sort of felt left out and peer pressured into doing it.
So how's he doing now?
Well, I mean, it's been a few years, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been a solid 2 years now.
At least.
He's much better. He's got himself. He's just got himself away from them.
You guys always like supported him throughout that.
Yeah, of course.
As much as we could, but some people at times they don't want the help, do they? You tell them that.
Any other friends you got who you grew up with who have taken different kind of paths?
A couple of weed smokers and GTA players. I won't really say anyone's in prison that I know that we're close with.
We've got a guy who he just sits in his room all day playing the Xbox.
Online girlfriend and all that.
Yeah.
So he's like in the metaverse.
Yeah, it's all his world is on
metaverse.
He's got some like a nice chick chatting to him. He thinks they're chicks, and it's probably some guy in Nigeria scamming him off. Someone from what do they call it? A scam cities, like in Laos or whatever it is. No, Myanmar. Them cities over there where they got people like hostage and stuff, like messaging people and all them honey traps and all that. Yeah, it's all out there. Okay, so how is he?
Oh, not too sure.
Message him and he just reads it and don't reply. Doesn't he? It's like,
that's nice.
We've tried to offer help numerous times, and we've gone round to his house, and every time we've gone round, he's just sat there playing the console, not interested in speaking or accepting.
So have you ever had a time where there's been a professional or someone who's gone like above and beyond to help you, like who's made you think, oh, you know what, I could be a teacher. It's like I don't know, come and knocked on your door and said, come on, you need to go to school, or anything like that. You know, like where you've just been in a position where you've been like, oh, this is just, nothing's going right. And then someone's just showed you that there are actually some nice people out there who are genuine. You ever had anything like that?
For college, there was a guy there named Mike. He helped me get my first proper job without being in the community, because he showed me that, you know, with a bit of hard work and integrity.
Only Mike? No, I'm joking.
With a bit of hard work and integrity, you can kind of get to where you want to be.
Nice. And what did that look like? Like, what did he do to kind of support you? Like,
different areas of the subjects that we kind of wanted / needed to, you know, kind of grow further into being ready for a job.
Yeah, no, I mean, I know Mike's very passionate. You know, we've done some really good work together. So like, I know that it's with what he was about. It wasn't about it being a job. It was a passion, and it always would be, being able to kind of help those young people who wanted help. That's kind of what we do. That's why we walk down the road and we have loads of young people who are always like saying hello and want to talk to you because they're like, oh, look, I can remember, look, I'm doing all right now. And I think that's one of the things what have kept me in that role of trying to help young people. What about yourself?
So very similar to Lewis, another guy, Mike, as well. He used to, obviously, there was one day a week we'd play football, and then there was one day a week we'd sit down and go through like CVs and like stuff like that.
A split, so it weren't just like work.
Yeah, so it sort of like made you get like confidence to go into sort of stuff like that, because I was no good at writing. As I said earlier, cocked up my English, so he'd help me go through all my CV and help me do little things like NCS and charity work to put onto my CV so my future employer could see that. So we went down like one sort of afternoon a week, would go through all of that. Different like courses he'd find for me to get onto.
I think like so support like that is what's needed for a lot of, because I feel like some of them now, we've got young people like being excluded at 12. It's like you're still young.
Well, the exclusion's not really a punishment, really, is it? Go home and sit on FIFA all day, like that's a young kid's dream.
Go town.
Go up road or whatever they say. But that's not really a punishment, is it? All your mates are sitting at school and you're going around enjoying your life. I wouldn't say that's a punishment.
The thing is that it's difficult because obviously schools get funding, but then schools at the same time, you can't be like. It's difficult if you've got a class of 30 and you've got one clown. No, but it's difficult. How do you, it's easier to remove that person, that bad egg, essentially, from ruining it for everybody else. But at the same time, there needs to be more. That young person could just need an arm around them or someone just to sit down with them and go through some of the work. Help him.
I sort of agree with what you're saying. School wasn't for me, so I'd purposely go there. I'd buy a new Xbox game on a weekend if I was good at like school for 1 week, get excluded and just sit on that all day. And that's like my life. I feel like it's not really a punishment. FIFA 15 come out, I had the best ultimate team before anyone had even got a look in the game. I was just smashing it out, like Messi and Ronaldo on the pitch. And
I go against you and I have a team full of non-rares. I
feel like the thing with the school is they sort of learned onto me was that if they put me in that isolation room where you couldn't talk, you had to sit there and do loads of crap on like work, that was a punishment, and that's how they got to me, really. As opposed to just kicking me out and excluding me for like the week. It didn't do anything, I don't think. I feel like the punishments need to be changed.
I get that. And I think also with the opportunities for young people, it's about, obviously it's not always just about kind of working, as you said, with looking at crypto and looking at other things.
Yeah.
And from talking to some of those old school guys, get him down the hod carrying, doing all that kind of stuff. It's like, we're not all dinosaurs anymore.
The world's different now to them sort of 30, 40 years ago.
Some of them
right?
could. I don't know much about crypto, but I know people who are doing all right. Doing that is similar to kind of stocks and shares. And, you can be exposed to that and they can be able to do all right and earn money, essentially.
From
doing that by
using
their brains.
Sitting in your room all day, listening to music, making your money by crypto and trading and stocks and forex.
So, it's about, there's loads of different TikTok. There's a lot of different opportunities where you can go and see the world, which then travelling and seeing the world has been massive for me in terms of that's given me a massive different outlook on life and going to some really deprived places and thinking, you know what, life's not actually that bad.
From when you've had a bad day to when never had a bad day.
Yeah, and something I'd love to do is to be able to take groups of young people, like obviously when the NCS thing was in Wales, but at a bigger scale, going to deprived places like Sri Lanka, places Thailand, where you want to play PlayStation, you got to go to a shop where there's a guy's got a PlayStation. You're standing there waiting your turn.
Yeah,
There ain't no Wi-Fi. Yeah, so like just to show them that life's not too bad, and just to give them a different outlook on things.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like if you go around to different communities and you see how they live and how they do their lives, there's some parts of the world they have to go out fishing and hunting for their food still, and then like in the 1600th century.
You've got to go and you need to go 5 miles to go and get some water.
Yeah, and it still happens today, don't it? All that sort of stuff. And then someone had a bad day at work or school or whatever, and they're let getting down for weeks. So in reality, it's not really a big problem.
Not really that deep, isn't it? Come back, someone's bullied you online, so you come back and start giving your mum shit.
Yeah, because you've been called a nasty name on GTA Online.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different world. And I feel like even as an adult, like I'm not a father or anything, but adult or like parents need to have more of an understanding
of the world being different now.
Yeah, and how the young people and the children today are working and functioning. Just because, like, for example, you can't take a child's phone off. You take his phone off him, yeah?
It's his world now,
Well, that's his world. You may as well lock him in a room. He's going nuts.
Yeah.
Absolute World War III. Yeah, so it's like, how can we kind of manage that so that, you know, you use all your social media stuff in a safe way, but you can still be punished without, it absolutely erupting at home and making things 10 times worse.
I think it's a tough one because, as we all know, social media is such a big part of society these days. Everyone's got a platform to, you know, write within reason or sometimes without reason, whatever they want into the world. I think especially children, it's such a exciting yet dangerous place for them to, you know, talk to their friends. You know, it's an easy way of communicating. If they get their phone taken away, that whole side of their life's gone.
Communicating, yeah.
Just going off subject of slightly what Lewis said about social media being someone's life. I actually know a guy, I think he's about 13, but he was 13 when this happened. He put a tweet out about a football player missing a penalty. It weren't racist, but it was like prejudiced. And they basically stopped him getting a job when he got a bit older. I think he got to about 20 and like he got the job and he was working, and then they pulled him aside one day and they said, hey, what's all this about? He didn't know what to do. Like something he'd done 7 years ago.
I used to know someone who, that's their job. They work for a company. So if you go for any corporate jobs, you treat people how you want to be treated.
Yeah.
If you treat people like,
you're going to get
back, and you can't knock a try. If someone puts a lot of graft in and they try, then fair play to them. You know, I see good in most people, everyone, except for,
It's like, as you say, with all your gym work, if you see someone going to the gym once a week and giving 100%, or someone going to the gym every day and giving 60%, the 60% guy's in more shape than the 100% guy, I think, because he's more consistent.
Well, more consistent than that 100% once a week. So, like, before we kind of wrap things up, is there anything else, like, you know, we've been talking a lot about young people and alternative education and stuff. You guys, I think, have done well, considering. So what I like, is there anything, like a message or anything you'd like to say just before we wrap things up?
I feel like I want to add this on. I feel like the government should look into shutting social media down for a few hours a day to make people go out and like interact with each other, play football or boxing or something that gets them out instead of sitting on these phones all the day. Because you meet people like, oh, do you want to meet up for like, I don't know, a coffee or some food? Oh no, why don't we just FaceTime? It's like, well, it's not really no good, is it? So yeah, it's not the same as us sitting here now and having a chat.
I remember being in Sri Lanka and there was riots going on, and they purposely didn't want the world to know that there was riots going on, so you couldn't access WhatsApp or anything.
So just shut it down.
Shut it down. So you had to use a VPN. So I remember to use my WhatsApp. I had to use a VPN to communicate just normally with people in the UK, and that's obviously because they don't want to be portrayed a negative, because that's going to potentially have an impact on tourism and everything else.
100%.
But that's the thing with the world now, though. Everything's what they want you to see in it. No one knows the truth. It's the same with everything.
Even when you travel, they're like, you can't go here, you can't go there. I would watch 1 or 2 vloggers who go around to some of these like proper places. You're like, good luck.
It's not even that
you
bad.
See them and I'm like, it's not too bad, that.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
not too bad.
The news have told me to stay out there, not going anywhere near it.
Not too bad, that. What about yourself?
No, I do agree with what you said. I think that when obviously we were growing up, we would play football every single night down at the school field, local school field. You know, I don't think consoles and all of the whole social media aspect was a big thing.
Until GTA come out really. The first 2 weeks it come out, it was only story mode, and then when the online come out, that was it. Everyone was just sat on that thing. It's like I remember the first 2 weeks was all story mode, wasn't it?
Yeah.
After that, they brought out the new online thing, and no one wanted to do anything but play that, did they?
No.
That was a new world. You say that, you get your pocket money now. You can buy new characters, new guns. People are putting virtual money, like real money, to buy virtual get guns on a game. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But the same people who don't take risks in stocks and crypto, but they'll put all their money onto a game.
I found that,
Crazy.
like, a young person that used to have me, like, spending money on Roblox. He's like, oh my God, look, I got a bubble tea. I'm like, listen, it's not real, mate. So his characters have got a bubble tea. I'm like, you just cost me a tenner.
Yeah.
Bubble tea, we can go and buy one for cheaper.
Yeah.
If you give me a tenner Roblox, I get a bubble tea, like, and a new skin. I was like, listen, mate, this ain't real, yeah? So
that's the whole world now, though, isn't it? It's all on computers and toys. And
fake bubble tea, £10. Real bubble tea, £2.
If I can't hold something, I struggle to think it's real. You know, like if I want a CD, like, download the iTunes. I'm like, I kind of want a CD as well. Not that I'm ever going to play the CD.
Yeah.
But I've got it, you know. I can borrow it to someone if I want. Like, I can't borrow you, man.
Playlist.
Yeah.
Send it all, yeah. I hear what you're saying. The world's different though, isn't it? As we've touched on a few times.
Yeah, I know. I'm still probably half a dinosaur, innit?
We're getting there.
The younger generation.
But all right. Well, guys, thank you for your time and your contribution.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, it's all good. Just hopefully, like as I said, it ain't about. This is just about just having people have a bit of an insight and just helping change for the positive. Yeah.
We look forward to season 2.
Yeah.
All right, cool.